Hello and welcome to PACTV Community News. I'm Larry King.
And I'm Kim Mio. During this edition of PACTV Community News, we'll present helpful information to our young viewers and their parents about college admissions and working with finances.
As stressful as the college application process can be, there are also great rewards.
We'll take you to a decommissioning ceremony in Duxbury.
The Stars and Stripes were first raised at this building on December 9, 1967. Today we're going to lower that flag for the final time here on West Street.
And look inside the new location of the Plymouth Community Theater.
And I said this was a jewel, and it was sitting right in front of me all this time. I just didn't see it.
PACTV Community News shows you a kaleidoscope of kids' arts and craft at Pembroke's North Elementary School.
It looks to me like every child can be successful in art when you see the work that they've done here.
Our arts and entertainment segment is back with Michelle McGrath.
When you sing, everything resonates within you.
These stories and more coming up on PACTV Community News.
The Duxbury Police Department has moved into their new facility on Mayflower Street. Last week, a decommissioning ceremony was held at their old building, and PACTV Community News was there for the story.
Good morning and welcome to the decommissioning ceremony for this building directly behind me that served as the home for the Duxbury Police Department for over 44 years. The primary function of the decommission ceremony is the formal lowering of the flag. The Stars and Stripes were first raised at this building on December 9, 1967. Today we're going to lower that flag for the final time here on West Street. We received a 70% approval rating at the polls, which for these types of projects is unheard of. So the support that we received from the residents truly was overwhelming, and it was greatly appreciated.
There's no dancing around this one. The Duxbury Police Station is a disgrace. Septic leaks in the basement, termites in the evidence locker, and bare wires on the wall are just a few of the indignities Duxbury's finest deal with on a daily basis. Not to mention the 31 officers sharing one bathroom, the hazardous conditions in the lockup area, or the utter lack of any storage space. We should have built a new police station a decade ago. We can't wait any longer.
Oh, by the way, I am not going to miss this building at all. It's the people I worked with. I'm not missing them either because I'm going to bring them with me. They're going to go to the new place.
When I first came on board here 39 years ago, we had a rotary phone. We did not have computers to process the information we needed as officers for traffic stops, wanted criminals, or statewide enforcement notices. The case logs were typed on a typewriter, and for most of us, our skilled hunt and peck technique.
It's now time to formally transfer the headquarters of the Duxbury Police Department. Deputy Chief, make preparations to decommission the 443 West Street headquarters flag. Here we're going to raise the flag for the first time here on Mayflower Street. The group before you today here represents the building construction folks and the future of the police department.
Order! On!
Smart George, a Kingston-based organization that provides financial management skills training, is dedicated to educating young people about money management in today's world. Working with both high school-age students and their parents, Smart George strives to counsel kids about debt and personal finance. PACTV Community News visited with their founder, Daniel Shearer, to learn more.
What got me started with Smart George Outreach was a connection with Crossroads for Kids here in Duxbury, where we ran programming with a trial round of their kids who are teens starting to prepare for college, and working with that group toward their financial intelligence education. The way we work with Smart George Outreach is, it literally is that. It's an outreach program where it's essentially a traveling roadshow. You know, we go with a computer, projector, and screen, and we can provide the education at organizations that already have a captive audience of kids, let's say between the ages of 16 and 20 is sort of my the center starting point with the kids. I do work with kids who are older than that, but that's where we really want to get kids started in the education. So we will go to organizations, and I use Crossroads as the best example where we've been very successful with our kids, to present the programming in a place where they're already comfortable and gathered. And that really is how we interact. We can move around as needed, whether it's into a school system or a day activity facility, something like that. One of the big challenges that kids are also facing today is that as they begin to get older and are looking at college and getting into college, they are faced with the marketers from all the bankers at trying to offer them credit cards and such, and kids have no experience with it and don't understand the implications of every decision that they make when they start to buy pizza, buy the goods at the school stores. As they begin to build the credit levels on their cards, they don't really know what they're doing when they have to manage that. And so it's critical for kids to begin to self-educate. They've got to read the documentation. They've got to really understand the impact of all the decisions that they're making and how are they going to be paying for the credit card. It's not free money. It's something that they have to pay back, and if they aren't paying it back every month, they're going to be getting charged higher and higher fees. And so that is an enormous challenge, and what we try to do is educate kids within this program specifically on what credit is, how it's measured, who's looking at it, why it's there, all those things that have to do with their security in this field going forward. And we really talk about two things. We talk about credit rating and net worth, and how those two things can interact and play with each other, and what happens when they play nice and what happens when they don't, because those two things impact each other. So this is, again, that greater context is what we try to bring to the program. It's interesting that Smart George is definitely focused on the long term. We want kids to understand that they have to get out of their what I would call a small teenage world where they're captivated by Facebook and the friends around them, and they tend not to be able to. It's a brain functionality thing, right? Frontal lobes, and what are they prepared for? But we try to get them thinking long term, all the way to retirement. We want them to begin to perceive that at some point they're going to be trying to survive post-career. And how are they going to do that? And a big piece of that, the way we tie it in, is we talk about inflation and the cost of things today versus what things are going to cost in the future. And we have an exercise that we run through where we talk about what things were in the past. 60 years ago, what did things look like, and what are they now? And we play some games around that, guessing games, and it's stunning to them to hear where things are going to be. If we project numbers based on the inflation rates that we've seen over the past 60 to 100 years, apply that to the future, it's stunning what the numbers are. And so that really wakes them up and gets them thinking about, oh my gosh, how are we going to do that? And it introduces additional conversation and a whole wide other range of topics that we get into.
The Pembroke North Elementary School held its annual Arts and Crafts Fair this month, and PACTV Community News was there to showcase the students' artistic skills and chat with the school's principal.
Tonight is the Fine Arts Gallery night. We have art on display from every student in the school, as well as performing musicians in several locations. And it's a chance to celebrate all of the talent and creative energy here in our school. Nearly 700 students, with every one of them having a chance to have their art on display. It's pretty special. It's one of those evenings where you just get a sense from the community of how proud the parents are and the children are to show their parents the work that they've done and the work that their friends have done. and they get a chance to see, you know, what it looks like to see kindergarten artwork right up to 6th grade and the progression that the students make. And it looks to me like every child can be successful in art when you see the work that they've done here. There's talent at every grade level, and they express it in different ways. So you get a sense of they're given different assignments, different projects by our art teacher, Mrs. Melise, and a chance to show their best stuff. She really sets them up well with skills that are appropriate for their age, and it's pretty wonderful. Usually, during the year in art, there are several different projects in a given grade, using different kind of materials or different instructions. Sometimes there was one whole grade where it was clear they had done something with the ocean and fish. And so there were a lot of hungry-looking fish that were about to snap. And that's clearly something where Mrs. Melise has worked with them on those shapes and that kind of design. In some of the grades, it looks much more abstract, where they're given a lot more freedom to try different styles and different techniques. And they all look original. I've seen work in schools where it looked like color, you know, by numbers, where everyone had done a project that looked pretty much the same. And so it's pretty extraordinary to see the range of different projects. And we get the support of the community, not just here at North Pembroke, but at Hobmock and at Bryantville and the middle school and high school. This is a week where we had, on Monday night, the All Strings Night, and there was a chance to hear string players from elementary, middle, and high school. And the arts are well supported in this town. We're very lucky.
Is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm just so glad that it was the kind of night that we had great attendance, and I know some of the families were coming here right from baseball or soccer, but they were able to fit in a visit to our gallery, and they were pretty proud of their children's work.
North Pembroke Elementary School!
Plymouth Community Theater, a nonprofit performing arts organization whose mission is to produce quality performances and provide a venue for amateur and professional talent, now has a permanent home in downtown Plymouth. You can learn more about Plymouth Community Theater from their website, plymouthcommunitytheater.net. PACTV Community News arts and entertainment reporter Michelle McGrath stopped by their new location.
Plymouth is quickly becoming known as the arts mecca on the South Shore, and the Greater Plymouth Performing Arts Center is about to launch the Spire, a new amazing building in the center of Plymouth that is going to bring new programming to the area. Bob Hollis, the president of the Greater Plymouth Performing Arts Center, is about to tell us a little bit more. Listen in.
We formed Greater Plymouth Performing Arts Center a couple of years ago because there was really nothing in this whole area, from probably 50 miles, that could serve the purpose as a performing arts center that could house music and theater in a building that would seat about 250 people and have the correct stage dimensions, the correct height of the hall, the unobstructed views and so forth. I looked for years to find such a building, would often drive by here and not even think another thing about looking in here until, just about a little under a year ago, the synagogue approached us after we had done a play as Plymouth Community Theater and said they would be interested in selling the building to us. And I came in, and as soon as I saw it, I said, this is perfect. It has the right size. The woodwork is wonderful. The acoustics are beautiful. It doesn't have any sight obstructions. It has the correct height of the ceiling that we can do lighting and sound and everything else. And I said this was a jewel, and it was sitting right in front of me all this time. I just didn't see it. So unfortunately, I said, how are we going to pay for this? And but I called up the Community Preservation Committee, Bill Cohan, the chairman. He came down within an hour because he was looking for something like this as well. And he had the same reaction. This is perfect for our group, but beyond that, their main interest was also to preserve the building. They did not want to see it go to condos or apartments or residences or retail use because it's in a very important corridor economically for Plymouth and also from a historic standpoint. You know, the courthouse is up there. You got wide Brewster Street going down, which was always designed to be the main connection between the waterfront and the downtown. And we have an opportunity now to take this space and preserve it and put something in that immediately would make it economically viable while also contributing to the culture of the community and also the economy of the community. Because one of the main problems downtown is a lot of the businesses have left. We needed something that could draw business back down here, and that's what we have here. We've already started and had great reception from the community with some of the businesses, and also we have a founders program where people that are willing to put up some seed money for us, because we have a lot to do, as you mentioned. For $1,000, they'll be in perpetuity, will be on the wall out there in the lobby as you come in. They'll be designated as a founder, and we appreciate all those people who have done that. So we intend to have something every weekend of the year, and it will be about a third of the time be theater, about 2/3 of the time to be music. And we want to, when it comes to music, really appeal to a lot of different genres. So we're going to have jazz fest, we're going to have country music, we'll have classical music, we'll have acoustic, we'll have Americana. We want to make sure that we can appeal to a large spectrum of the community, but not just the community, but we look at this as something that's going to draw a lot of people from outside of even 50 miles. That we want that kind of talent that people would want to drive and visit Plymouth for the day and then come in and see a show that night. Right now we've already started the stage. We're going to be expanding the stage area so it not only fit music but especially theater, which we need bigger stages. We're saving the organ. What we've done is dismantled it wasn't a working pipe organ, so we dismantled what was behind the facade, and we're going to take that facade and put it right up against the back wall so it'll still be a beautiful appearance here. We've already started downstairs doing some construction. With that, we'll be ready to open once all that work is done.
The opening of the Spire will happen with Plymouth Community Theater's opening of I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change on June 14th for 6 performances. This has been Michelle McGrath for PACTV Community News.
Applying to college is a daunting and stressful task for both high school students and their parents. PACTV Community News spoke with a local expert to understand the process and learn about ways to survive it.
Today's average student applies to 12 to 25 schools. That's very different from even 5 years ago when students could apply to, say, 5 to 8 schools and have choices. Many colleges that normally would accept 80% of incoming applicants are now accepting 50%. It's gotten very, very competitive. So I'm here today to talk to you about what you can do as a parent or as a student yourself or as an educator to help students with this entirely stressful process. There are 3 major areas involved in the college application process today. The first being what you do as a student. Being a student means doing well in school, getting good grades, but taking as challenging a course load as possible. It is much better for you to get low B's and an occasional C in an honors class or a more challenging class than it is to get all A's in a standard level class. Colleges want to see a student really challenge themselves in college because that's an indication that they will do the same at their university or college. The second thing that is very important in this college application process is having a strong extracurricular record or a resume of everything you've done in and out of school your whole life, from preschool until senior year, both at a school level, so an extracurricular activities such as playing a sport, up to performing community service. And community service is very, very well looked upon by colleges, as is having a job, whether it's babysitting or collecting trash. Work experience shows responsibility and a very high level of maturity that's important to show in this process. And the third bit of advice that I would have would be to start the college application process as early as possible. Visit colleges, have your child see what college looks like. If you can get assistance with this process, you'd be wise to. You can get help from your guidance counselor, certainly, but there's also a lot of outside professional help available to you. And what that does is strengthen your application so that you're accepted, and your acceptance guarantees you a better financial aid package. At the same time that the process has become more stressful, there are certain things now that exist that make it a lot easier than certainly when we applied to college. One is called the Common Application. It allows you to apply to over 450 schools that are members. It's just one application you fill out, and that service sends your application to all 12 to 20 schools that you apply to. As stressful as the college application process can be, there are also great rewards to it, and you'll find that having gone through it as a high school junior and senior enables you to go through it again when you're an adult applying to graduate school or going on to further your career. So don't worry about this process. Try to enjoy it the best you can, especially the trips that it might involve. And know that the more you're able to sell yourself in this process, the better off you're going to be able to sell yourself in everything in life.
On Sunday, May 5th, the South Shore Arthritis Walk will hold their 12th annual event from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Stevens Field in Plymouth. Over 700 people are expected to participate. For more information and to sign up, you can go to their website, southshorearthritiswalk.org. The annual family event raises awareness and funds to support research and educational programming for those living with arthritis. After the event, stick around for a post-walk party with food, entertainment, children activities, prizes, and more.
PFC in general has been wonderful because it's given me the opportunity to play regularly for a choral society. I've played for many years in church choirs and school choirs all over the place, but I haven't had that much opportunity to accompany large-scale choral compositions. So doing compositions like the Brahms Requiem, like pieces by Mozart, like the Armed Man that we did several years ago. It's the whole spectrum, really. It's been a wonderful experience because what we've done is we've selected music over these past 10+ years from all different musical periods. To me, this piece is different from any other piece I've ever done before. I do believe that we have 4 timpanists, and if 1 or 2 of them or more are right behind me, banging in my ear, it's a very, very loud percussive sound.
But for the audience,
it's going to sound great.
It's meant to make a stand.
That's one of the attractions of this piece, I believe, the fact that it does have a lot of percussion instruments in it, and that adds to the quality of joy and its dance-like qualities, its festivity. It's a wonderful package.
It's really been so much fun to work with this group, and our group has really grown because of the popularity of this piece. This has been one of those pieces that I've always wanted to do. This piece requires that you have a very, very strong men's section, and we have that with 30 or so men in the group that are all really, really fine musicians. And then also a number of people in the course that are voice teachers themselves, music teachers themselves, have a vast array of experiences in choral music. So it's the perfect setting for this. Or as a teacher and as an educator, came up with a whole system of how to teach rhythm to children, and it's very, very obvious in this that all of those things that he's asking for in terms of syncopations, in terms of various articulations and things like that, all comes out in this one work.
It's sort of like a lot of classical music. The more you hear it, the more you grow to love it, and the more it just kind of vibrates inside you. Like you go around and all of a sudden you're humming one of the songs. And it's got such an interesting history, you know, coming from really based in the 12th century, you know. So it's really unique and a wonderful experience. When you sing, you know, everything resonates within you, and that if people are religious, that singing is the highest form of prayer.
For more information on all Pilgrim Festival Chorus concerts, visit pilgrimfestivalchorus.org. Michelle McGrath for PCN's Arts and Entertainment News.
Thanks for watching this edition of PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed on our website, pactv.org. Just click on the PCN logo to watch individual stories or an entire program.
See us on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel, and be sure to like us on Facebook to receive previews each week with links to all our stories.
Join us again next week for another edition of PACTV Community News.